My video for February the 24th, 2019 is video number 3006, and its title is a question: Is the European Union falling apart? By now, I'm sure most people have heard about Brexit, which is the vote taken that would remove Britain from the European Union. According to reports sent to me, many other nations across Europe are revolting against the influx of Muslims into their countries and causing many serious problems. It's a clash of very different cultures and values, which is exactly what the Rothschild globalist elites want. The same is true in the Americas, where the elite are pushing for the elimination of national boundaries, hence the influx of people from Latin America trying to cross illegally into the US. Are these revolts against the system and the apparent game plan of the establishment minions handwriting on the wall that the New World Order is finally unraveling? I certainly hope so. David Wilcock, in the video titled "Alliance Strikes Back Against Deep State," also points out some of the weather anomalies that may suggest ET intervention. When I hear things like this, it gives me a little hope that positive change sparked by a mass awakening of humanity is accelerating. It is my continuing prayer that the Age of Aquarius is gaining momentum. Yes, once again, I'm recording my video a little bit later than usual because I've had continuing problems with my computer. I couldn't get any sound on it for a while. I finally figured out how it had changed. I was trying to print something and moved some wires around, and it disabled my camera, which is my camera and microphone that I record on. So of course I wasn't getting any sound. It was not plugged in, although it should have had the computer sound anyway, but it didn't. So I'm recording this video, as I said, a little bit later. But the report from, or David Wilcock's report, Alliance Strikes Back Against Deep State, was really interesting. And he talked in there about weather modification. They've been trying to create a drought to starve America and drive up food prices because money is their game. It's the illegal, unbacked by anything money system has been very profitable for allowing them to do all sorts of crimes against humanity and creating poverty in certain areas and getting the impoverished people to move into places where they're supposedly going to have a better life. And this is all part of the game plan. But of course, people that are raised with different cultures have a problem assimilating into another culture that, again, does not have the same values. And I'm sure many people have read about all of the rapes and things like that from the Muslim men coming in and not having their partners with them. And that's not just Muslim men, but in Latin America, it's Catholic men. And it's not, folks, I want you to understand, it's not about religion. It's about the manipulation of human perception that has distorted our values, because in essence, everybody wants the same thing: to be left alone and to live according to the dictates of their own conscience. All human beings want that, except the elite. The elite don't want anyone to live according to the dictates of their own conscience. They want a one world system where everybody is a puppet and thinks exactly the same, so that there is just total control and nobody has any need or reason to question the established viewpoint that the elite want to put forth. And I hope that there is an unraveling taking place. I hope what's happening in Europe and France and in Greece to a lesser extent, and in Italy, and it's mostly in the southern part of Europe, but it's really, there's segments of it, according to David's report anyway, there's segments of it all across Europe. And of course, in the former Soviet Union, and there's all over, there seems to be an awakening going on where people are becoming frustrated and aware that something is inherently wrong with the system itself. And the revolt is against the system. This may seem like a bad thing, but if it brings down the dark cabal, I'm all in favor, and I applaud it with all my heart. I want honest people anywhere and everywhere to be able to have fulfilled lives, to be able to chase their dreams, pursue their goals, and be successful at it because they work hard to accomplish something in their lives and make their lives count. I want my life to count, which is why I keep making videos, even though I've wanted to pull back so many times. I keep making the videos, one, because what else am I going to do with my time? But two, because I consider it a mission. I want to wake people up. I want to get people to see things. And David Wilcock, I don't agree with him on everything. I don't agree with Ron Van Dyke on everything. I can go back and listen to some of my earlier videos, and not that I ever, hardly ever do, but I could, and say, boy, I can't believe I was putting that information out. I don't believe that anymore. And that's the evolution of consciousness based on new information coming in, where you have to recognize, well, what I thought was true isn't. And this is a good thing. I wish we could all reach that point, but we've been so brainwashed, so dumbed down by the education system, by the media, and by the society in which we live in general, that most people, it's very difficult to think outside the box. It's very difficult to break the status quo. But yet that seems to be, at least there are indications that it seems to be what's happening in France especially. I mean, they're really rioting in France now. They want something more than what they have. And I think humanity wants something more than what we've been able to experience. And again, I don't think that's going to happen as long as the cabal is in place where it can dictate the story, the headlines, and the values of people, because they are not human values. Humans do not want to be controlled by someone else. And that's what's happening with this influx of people from different cultures, trying to put them together, and the pieces just don't fit. So I hope that David is right, and I will again put the link to that video, and it's part of a series, and you're welcome to watch any or none of them as you choose, as always. But I recommend listening to people that talk outside the box. And now David points out that a lot of his videos have been co-opted by others, and they're putting out old videos, and I've listened to some of them myself, and I said, it looks like it's a brand new video, but he's talking about things from a year or 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. And what is this? Well, and David pointed that out in the video, that they've stolen a lot of his videos and are putting forth his videos with a different twist on it to frustrate people. Anyway, thank you folks for listening.